Good day to you all. Allow me to introduce myself. My name is Bosco Rafelio from SMA Yaspen Tugu Depok, presenting you a quick video to discuss the topic about social media. Now, of course, you've heard of it. Social media has been used by people to such an extent that they need a daily dose of the media to get an update on what has been happening around the world. But does the habit of us relying on social media has a downside to it? What other benefits does it have beneath our awareness? This is what we're going to dive deep into. Now, before we start, in case some of you don't know, social media is an application in which enable users to create and share content with other users. And from that, they can connect and interact with other people. Now, there are many forms of social media, but I personally use Instagram to do most of my activities. And so do a lot of people, because one study by Napoleon Cat has proven that 1/5 of the population in Indonesia are social media users, more specifically Instagram users. Now, as the popularity of social media keeps on spreading all over the world, there have been mixed perceptions about how it affects the youth such as us. So how does social media affect the youth? Well, to answer that question, we need to look at both positive and negative sides of the impact. Going with the former first, social media has reduced the world to as accessible as I meant to say as little as a village. Now, by that I mean that we, as the young generation, are able to connect with people from other parts of the world by just the press of a button. Now, as its root, this is what the main goal was. Apart from, well, through these interactions, we are able to share ideas, acquire information much faster, and also be exposed to the many opportunities out there. So much so that you can even start a business and get ahead of life's problems. Now, to give you an example, social media has left a positive impact on me by opening many doors of opportunities. From my experience, it lets me get a lot of insight from my friends, introduced me to many reliable sources of information, and if used correctly, can also become a tool of success. Now, apart from just connecting, social media has expanded widely, becoming a huge market field. Now, this brings us to the second point. Entrepreneurs and companies can advertise their products, in which opens an array of opportunities for youth. Now, for example, young people with a high level of proficiency can be hired by corporations to be their brand ambassadors online for a good appeal, and in addition, they can earn a considerable amount of money by posting podcasts and vlogs. Now, social media is also an avenue that can be used to promote ourselves and showcase our capabilities. Now, on the other hand, the world is an unregulated. I meant to say the internet is an unregulated world that has no form of morals or laws to abide to. So that means that young people are exposed to the many gore content that are in the internet, and chances are can lead to mental breakdowns. Now, for instance, it can give us the impression that the world is a bad place to be, which is actually a huge misrepresentation. Whereas actually the Earth is a safe haven with so much untapped opportunities. Now, the first negative point is the addiction from too much social media. Now, the modern age of era, people are sitting next to each other without interacting with one another. More and more people are becoming more. What I meant to say is they're avoiding their families, friends, and loved ones for the sake of their social media friends. Like at their habits, when they wake up in the morning, the first thing they check are their accounts. The last thing they do before they go to bed is check the updates. Now, it also leads to the youth wasting productivity hours due to being distracted by scrolling through network pages, for instance. This leads to unable to fully concentrate on the tasks of theirs. Now, if you take the social media away from them, it can lead to negative side effects, like a drug addict. Now, of course, there's the uncontrollable obsession. Now, of course, people have warned you to stay away from the obsession with likes and comments, in the media. Now, in some cases, people would do whatever it takes to get the attention in the media because they cannot get the same attention and love in their own lives, dedicating their lives fully to social media. Now, this can make everything around them fall apart. That can cause psychological problems. Now, this also relates to another problem that I'll be discussing. Have you heard or seen videos online of people who seem to be suffering, or even being in a problem from accidents or even disasters? If so, do you ever wonder why the person who is recording that video is not even helping, but rather too busy recording footage? Now, this is a case of social media taking away empathy from its users. Now we see people that are getting in trouble, but rather than getting help, their problems and misfortune is recorded and then posted online. So the poster expects likes and comments, but in actuality, some people would give negative criticism or even mock the victim. Now, there are even some cases where people so dramatically express or announce the challenges that they are going through, whether that is sickness, losing a loved one, or a broken relationship. People would post their condolences online for the poster, where in actuality, he or she does not feel any form of remorse. Now, to conclude, I'd like to end this off by giving a valuable message. The creators of these social networks didn't intend to make their creations the centers of crime or social decay, but were rather used by irresponsible people. Doing away with social media isn't practical or advantageous to society, so it is our duty as the young generation to make a difference by using the network in a respectful way to make a better community. Because if not us, then who? That is all I have to say. Thank you so much for your attention and have a good day.